Okay, so let's get this show on the road then. So as you can see, hello and welcome. My name is Random Gamer Ribbon, the editor of Randomized Gaming. And as always, I'm going to be taking a look at some streams. So today I'm not going to look at Shining the Holy Ark. I'll probably look at that again in the next week or two when I start up streaming. I thought I'd take a break and actually look at the last... We managed to get hold of the last Tekken disc, which has taken us quite a while, but we're finally here. So if you do... But basically, all three of these are basically a Dreamcast specific emulator with some very nice extras. So... And it's really interesting to see this running on the Dreamcast. So as again with the previous ones, you've got the control map, saving, bug alert, although it's only a few minor graphic twitches. Although I said there is some error handling with how I noticed... how it handles... and the credits and props, kudos to the guys who actually did this, and I'm just going to put that down. I'll get, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. So let's actually start. Unfortunately, I don't have an NTSC copy. I've only got the PAL version. So this one supposedly supports both the NTSC, PAL, and Japanese versions. Metal Gear didn't support the Japanese versions, but I only have a PAL disc of Tekken 3. So I'm going to try and get hold of an NTSC version of all three games. Yeah, this was the third and final Tekken game released on the PS1. Before, of course, it moved to the Tekken 4 and Tekken Tag. Now, I must admit, I've never been a huge fan of Tekken. I just never found it as good as Virtua Fighter. It is technically a spin-off of Virtua Fighter because it was designed by the same guy. Indeed, some of the characters used in Tekken were actually unused Virtua Fighter designs, believe it or not. They were actually unused... Virtua Fighter design, which is really interesting. So Tekken, this one's actually quite interesting because Tekken 3 actually has a wealth of modes. One of the issues I think Sega had with some of their games is their games didn't have that many options. Tekken 3 does. You've got options, practice, Tekken 4, survival, time attack, team battle, verse, arcade, and options. Snip options so it doesn't run out. Stereo mono BH. Oh, you get arcade and so yeah, you get silent, remixed. You get remixed music, so you get a whole kit and caboodle here on Tekken 3. The PS1 version really had a lot of extras in. Virtua Fighters, I think, didn't quite as many extras. I think that was one of the issues. Namco really went to ball adding in the extras. Although I have to admit, I don't think Tekken 3 is a particularly good fighting game. As I said, I never felt... The later Tekkens are pretty decent, but the early Tekkens I felt were slow, sluggish, and the only reason I think they appealed was because basically they're on PlayStation. I never recall seeing Tekken that much in the arcades. Saw it the original around a few times. The second and third games I don't think were that popular at all. I mean, I know the series did well in the home market, but I've never been convinced by... I definitely remember one of my friends another friend who works in the industry said they were really big in Japan. So Tekken was really big in Japan, but not so over here. I think he said Virtua Fighters was more popular, or Tekken was bigger in the West in areas, and then Virtua Fighter was better. But basically, there was quite a battle between Virtua Fighters and Tekken for a while. Unfortunately, it did come to an end, and unfortunately, we did lose the series in the end. Yeah, I quite like the original Tekken. I have actually unlocked everything in the original. I quite liked it. I just don't think it's as good a game as Virtua Fighter. So without further ado, let's actually just go for a quick run through the arcade mode. You know, I'm actually going to just... What's the difficulty on medium, easy? Yeah, that'll do. I'm a bit rusty at Tekken, so please do forgive me if the gameplay is not stellar. Now, when I tried autosave... no, cancel, push... So load, push start, load OK. Now if I do save now, push start, save OK. Okay. Before I had an issue when I think the autosave doesn't like creating the save file, so let's hope it's a bit better. But hello Any Old Games, it's been a few weeks since I've seen you. Yeah, the premise of Tekken would, in fact you literally got every character and an extra boss was really cool. Virtua Fighters never really had many unlockables. I think that was the problem. Namco clearly knew that their games weren't quite as good, I think, so they made sure to pack them with bonus content.
Round 1. Fight.
Now, apologies, this is a PAL version, and it definitely suffers from 50 Hz. It's nice. Bleemcast does res it up nice and 60 to 640, but it is the PAL version. There was a bit of controversy with the PlayStation Mini, because that actually included the PAL version and not the NTSC version. I have a suspicion for that, because I suspect Namco patched the PAL version over the NTSC version. In fact, I'm actually playing the PAL Platinum version, which is probably the last release, or one of the last releases. So this will be upped with extras. You could actually get Tekken 1, 2 and 3 on the PlayStation 2. They were included in Tekken 5 on PS2. However, they weren't the home console version, so didn't feature any of the cool extras. Just check my volume levels, not too. But yeah, I mean, the edging's a little bit soft, which was definitely an issue until they got round some of the... But visually, it does look very nice. It's a very smooth playing experience. Oh, a bit of slowdown. I think most of the slowdown in this is going to be from the original PS1 version. It's a 480i game, is it? Ah. So it'll transfer well to 480p then. But yeah, I am playing the PAL version, disappointingly, but we will try and get hold of NTSC versions. Ow! Should have checked today when I was ordering some stuff if they had NTSC versions in. Yeah, there are more games that use 480i than you think, but generally most games don't use it full screen. They'll use it for like the odd menu or two, much like the Saturn.
Round 1. Fight.
I'm actually generally Paul is the character I like to play as the most. He's got that double kick as well. Yep, that's the stuff I like. But yeah, I hope everyone is looking forward to Christmas. I know I certainly am.
You win. Round 2.
I will be doing a proper YouTube video on this if anyone's wondering. But in the meantime, I will be taking a look at... I mean, this is interesting. So, the arcade version, I think, actually has proper 3D stages, and they were slightly cut back. something people mentioned about the Saturn's versions of games, but the PS1's versions were the same. They did nerf the background slightly in the home console versions on all formats because the Saturn and PS1 would have struggled with the frame rate. But yeah, it does look nice. Again, ironically, it does actually look better than probably something like Plasma Star. You can definitely see the limitations of the PS1 itself. I think this pushed the PS1 to the edge in terms of fighting. Although I would argue Tekken 3 probably doesn't look as good as Virtua Fighter 2 on Sega Saturn. That might be a controversial statement for some, but... I don't know, on PS1 this is quite blocky, so the Dreamcast version definitely smooths out a lot of the texturing, so it looks quite a lot better than it actually is. But yeah, before I do a proper videoing, I would like to get NTST copies. Because this is quite sluggish. Because Namco did not properly optimise their games, unfortunately. Yeah, 50 Hertz. This feels like it's running in water, quite frankly. And even the Saturn's put, well, to be fair, the Saturn's port stuff is optimized. Oh, come on. Yeah, I think there isn't really much of a story in the Tekken series, if I'm being brutally honest. It's a bit of a comedy lark. I wouldn't really say there's any serious stories. It is a fighting game. And you've got them fighting a bear and a panda, so... I mean, you don't consider the story at all serious. In none of the fighting games, you really actually... In fact, Mortal Kombat, ironically, probably has the best stories with how they've done the later games. They've actually have reasonably half-decent cinematical stories, but Tekken has a laughably bad story. It's just there to accommodate for while the characters are fighting it out, but...
Round one, fight.
Yeah, basically, they've all got the devil gene. I think it's the devil gene. That's what the main emphasis of this is, that they all have the... Oh, he's got quite a nasty launcher, Paul. Yeah, Heihachi, father, son. Jin, basically, it's like Jin, it's basically the struggle between the Kazui family. Yeah, he's Kazu's son, so he is part of the same family. It's just he took his mother's name. And Jinbao, it's like basically it's the Kazu with basically Kazu and Heihachi. Jin is Kazu and the girl's son. His mother is it's basically his mother is also some sort of angel thing that basically you meet. She was the boss in Tag, unknown in its true form. But basically, he said the story is just utterly bonkers. Basically, it's a family dispute. Heihachi also has another son, Lars, is it, who was in Tekken 5, and basically, this game is basically the main premise is it's a family having a punch-up. And they've got some sort of special powers that let them turn some sort of heavenly angels or devil creatures. Which it does look. But Bleemcast certainly does the job here. And this probably definitely actually looks better than a few of some of the more lazier PS1 ports on the Dreamcast. Plasma Sword, for example, which is a direct, basically literally the PS1 engine. And one random alien who also fights in Soul Calibur. Yoshimitsu, yeah. You also have the bear, Kuma the bear, and loads of other wacky characters. And Law, who was clearly just a Jan Lee, it's clearly just Bruce Lee inspired. It's a bonkers plot, basically. I never liked the fact Block is back in this. But I appreciate the Tekken series has got a lot of fans and it's still going strong. Whereas Virtua Fighter probably has lost a lot of its momentum these days, it's fair to say. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's one of my issues with this. You should have invulnerability when recovering. But I do find the Tekken games, I always found them very unbalanced, I have to admit. And sluggish. I mean, I said this is the PAL version, so I'm not going to berate it just as much as I... Because... You can see the Bleemcast well and truly in action. Oof. Ironically, Paul's boss is the bear normally. He normally fights Kuna. Yeah, I'd probably agree. I'd definitely take Soul Calibur over Tekken. There was a thing with Tekken that they wanted, it's this way the system works, they wanted players to be able to damage one another and do hits, so the blocking system is not really the priority. Basically, there's an element of being able to take cheap hits and then dish out more damage. You can see a bit of texture warping, of course, but nothing you'd expect. And again, you can see some of the joins between the textures. Yeah, Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle is probably the weakest Virtua Fighter game that I will say any odd games. The Dreamcast version, Virtua Fighter 3 has a bit of a checkered history, to put it mildly. They made the mistake of trying to change the combat system, and it flawed the series. That's really where a lot of the problems from Virtua Fighter stem from. It's the fact because Virtua Fighter 2 was very successful, and then they really made some. The one thing Tekken's never done is messed around with the button system, and Virtua Fighter 3 did that. And that's the one golden rule about fighting games: once you settle on a button system, do not change it. Even Street Fighter has fallen a bit into that trap with some of their sub-spin-off games. Yeah, this one, Tekken 3, has actually a ton of characters that I will say. So there's definitely a lot. Ooh. Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle was pretty much a bare bones experience, for want of a better word. Yeah, these later opponents are quite stodgy in Tekken. I might actually reduce the difficulty later on just to make things a bit quicker, because I can actually feel the strain in my fingers of late from arcade titles, I think, because I've slightly sprained my wrist. Yeah, Soul Calibur made a bit of a car crash. 4 was okay, 5 is an absolute wreck of a game. With 5 they made the mistake of getting all their most popular characters and then replacing them with terrible wannabes. Also, there's one thing I will say about the Tekken series is the later games are pretty much every game installment's definitely better than the last. By the time you get to the most recentest one, Tekken 6 and Tekken 7 are absolutely packed with characters. This one's got a really cheap boss as well, hasn't it, with Ogre? Oh, Ogre is a really cheap boss in this. I think he's well overpowered. That's why he didn't appear in... I think... I'm not sure which... I know Ogre's back in Tekken Tag 2. I think that might be the only true one he's last... He was in Tekken Tag 2, and that's about it, I think, Ogre. Because he's basically a ridiculously overpowered character. Oh, come on. That was a throw.
Round 2. Fight.
Should redo the follow-up punches more. He's got a jump punch and a diagonal down punch. I think the kick works as well. Look at some of the mini modes in this as well. But yeah, some nice smoothing effects there. Heihachi. Paul versus Heihachi. Heihachi is boss then? I assume Heihachi's one of the bosses. Normally Heihachi can be an absolute pain in Tekken, so this may take a while. But I'm not a Tekken player, so it's been... The last Tekken I played properly was Tekken 6. Again, this really we're going to really get a heavy showcase of what Bleem is like tonight and how well it holds up. Oh, come on. See if we can set to 1 round wins as well, just to make things a lot quicker. Oh, there we go, the perfect. You get Ogre and you get true Ogre, yep. Paul versus Ogre, oh god. This guy I do not like. He is... But the impressive thing is the size of true Ogre in this. Stage 10 final.
Final round. Fight.
Okay, so one of the things I will say is his model is actually really impressive, Ogre. And now we go with an utterly bonkers ending like most of the Tekken games. The King of Iron Fist. That's actually what Tekken's... literally, Tekken is like Iron Fist, I think. It's actually the word for Iron Fist. Yeah, you had some crazy intros. But see, the text, I think that maybe the text is like that originally, because admittedly, if this is a 480i game, then they're using some quite nifty tricks to convert it into 640p, that I will say. Special character design gone. Oh, interesting. Is that someone done by a specific artist? Let's take a look at the various modes. So composers. I mean, this one really had a lot of staff working on it at Namco, so it definitely felt like a very complete game. It's definitely the most impressive looking of the three on the PS1 as well. But it's still unlockable in Western versions. Ah, that would explain it. Gone, that is. Cool, yeah, no, I thought when you mentioned it, that's quite interesting. I'm guessing he's a character that didn't appear in the later games, because there's a few that I think have popped up in one Tekken and never again. Yeah, Katsu Nakamura is the, I think he's Hajime Nakamura. 94, 95, 96. Sponsored characters, yeah, I can imagine. There's a few characters in the previous Tekken games that are incredibly hard to unlock. Notably in the original Tekken, trying to unlock the Devil Kazuya skin is really tough. There's like the intro play out. This is the sponsor. This is the sort of a track demo, the fighting. See what it looks like. Because you get a good look at the characters. Just gonna take a look at the cheat codes. What do you have to do to unlock everything? To unlock Gon, you must beat it in Tekken Ball. It will appear as your first opponent, or in arcade mode, it appears randomly. Or unlock Gon easy, get a high score on survival, then enter your name as Gon. Kumar, beat arcade mode once. And yeah, this is the other intro. So there's Jin's parents. I think Ogre is supposed to have bumped off Jin's mum, so... Complete the Tekken Ball to get Gon. How do you unlock Tekken Ball? How do you actually unlock Tekken Ball? So how do you actually Tekken Ball mode and beat the game with all non-hidden game characters? Okay. Right, so I'm going to do this. It doesn't say anything about beating the game on hard. Collect the button. So I'm going to seek. So fight count 1, difficulty easy. This is how you unlock stuff quickly. Guard damage, yes. Let's try that way. That way makes things a bit easier. Mainly because my wrist's actually a bit sore at the minute, so I'm going to be a bit more lighter on how much I play. So yeah, you've got a lot to unlock actually. And there's Kuma, the bear. Let's try a bit of survival, shall we? So if you enter your name as Gon, there's a cheap way to unlock him. Let's do it that way. Oh no, this is Tekken. This is fun. I've not actually unlocked much on this, so I might as well just get going and check out the different modes and see if they all work in Bleem. But now this is the one mode I was a little questionable as to whether any of the because sometimes you get the added extras and whether you may lose some features because of course the PS1 pad has more buttons than the Dreamcast, and that is a problem. You are having to use the analog stick and D-pad for some controls then. Namco had a habit of trying to add scrolling beat-em-ups into all their games, and they had a couple of Tekken ones. Still actually need is it Death by Degrees? They did Namco Breaks and a few others, but yeah, he's actually got really good range, Kuma. I think he's more powerful as well. Yeah, he's more powerful. It definitely makes things a bit easier. Kuba's one of the bosses. I seem to recall you have to beat this mode to unlock one of the characters as well. Now, do I get health reset? Stage 2. Panda. Panda. Yeah, I think the kangaroo was in this one as well. This one had absolutely tons of characters. I mean, in terms of content-wise, although I'm not a huge fan of Tekken, in terms of content, this game is absolutely packed to the rafters with additional content and is well worth it. In fact, the PS1 version is arguably, due to all the extra content, better than the... it's arguably a better buy than the better version than the arcade one. Come on, Panda. Let's get those guys. Yeah, Kuma or Panda absolutely hammers these guys. He's got such good range. I'm guessing Ogre probably dominates in this mode as well, assuming you can use Ogre in this mode. Mind you, if a big bear came for you, you'd be a bit panicked as well. Lots of health power-ups as well. Oh, I didn't really want to use that one there, but it's a bit tricky not... I wouldn't be surprised if the kangaroo character in this was inspired by the one from Streets of Rage, if I'm being honest. Oh, that's a school uniform, isn't it? Come on. Come on. Come on. Ah. Good fun mode, but yeah, it's definitely a tricky one because you don't get a lot of time. You literally got to demolish them, and I'm not sure whether they've made the mistake of adjusting the clock for the PAL version. Oh, it has actually saved my... Oh really? Gunjack has different endings. Yeah, this game is absolutely packed with alternative like extras. So suppose if you put your name as Gon on the score mode. What do we need to get into survival score mode? Pick Yoshimitsu. Not that I know Yoshimitsu, but a bit of fun as different characters. Show them all off. See how they handle on Bleem. I always remember Yoshimitsu actually being really nasty. He's supposed to... Well, he's not... He's supposed to be like a legendary series of thieves, so I think it almost implies it's just a different person wearing the armour who takes on the mantle of Yoshimitsu. In some games, or do you think he's implied to be an alien in others? Survival battle. So how many battles do I need to win before I get on the scoreboard? I need to enter my name in as Gon by the sound of it. Different dimensions, okay. But yeah, I have to again credit the Bleem guys. I mean, it does looking very good for a PS1 game, and I should say I've used official versions on each. I think a couple people said I saw that the Bleem does technically work with burned versions, although I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because you're not guaranteed a proper image. But this, I'm actually using a platinum copy of the third game, so assuming the platinum version may have a few bonuses or bug fixes not in the original release. So if I get on the scoreboard, if I enter my name as Gong, I think it was alternative. He is actually quite a snappy character, Yoshimitsu. Alternative end for gun. Alternative lost the game 10 times with gun jack and hold both kicks after every round. Yeah, I think you get some really nice little unlockable extras you don't see now, do you? Even the newer Tekken games, you don't get the extras you used to. It's like, well, why don't we still get these extras? They were cool. Why don't we get all the cool extras we used to? Runs better than Sony's own emulated version. What, on the PS4 or 5? Yeah, the Namco, I don't know how well it was emulated on the PS2. I know the emulation of Starblade. Yeah, these days extras are literally, you're paid for DLC, so. Now has that got me on the scoreboard? Has Six Wings got me on the scoreboard? Enter your name as Gon, G-O-N.
Yoshimitsu wins.
So to answer my question, does Gon still appear as a secret character if you do that? Yes, he does. Alright, so quick go as Gong, see what he's like. I'm just in training mode.
Gun. Fight.
So yeah, we do get to play as a little dinosaur, which is quite cute. I'd assume so. We can find out if we want to seek. Let's try and find out, shall we? You've got to basically beat the game for all the different characters and you unlock everything. Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably got an ending.
Final round. Fight.
He's definitely a character you want it on an easier setting because he's going to be totally outmatched due to his limited range. I think this chap was in one of the other Tekkens actually. See, Gong Tekken.
Final round. Fight.
Character appearing only in Tekken 3. So what was Gong licensed from? He was a mascot, was he?
Final round. Fight. Round. Fight.
So what is Gong actually licensed from? A Japanese mascot? Ah, I see. Gong again. Ah. He's a Japanese manga series. It's a Japanese manga series. So yeah, basically he is a character that is at odds with the series because he is a Japanese manga character.
Final round. Fight.
Although they could actually add him in as DLC now, so I don't see why, because you just do the DLC as a licensed DLC, I don't see why that's not an issue.
Final round. Fight.
There's a bonkers little character that I will say. I mean, in terms of quality for the emulator, again, as I said before, Bleemcast really is superbly done. Again, you got all the smoothing. I mean, Gon looks really good. He's got some nice moves. There's another character that I think is very reminiscent of him in the later Tekkens. He's basically got quite a nice dynasty. You worry you want to use his kicks rather than his punches. Yeah, I mean, he'd be bottom tier, that's for sure, because he's just a joke character. Unless he's got... Well, we might have the advantage in dodging certain attacks. There is a happy little dinosaur. Yeah, basically he is like Mankiki Kazami in the Japanese version of Athlete Kings. He was taken from a manga as well, so he never appeared in the follow-up games. And he was taken out of the Western version as well, for obvious reasons. Gong versus Heihachi.
Final round. Fight.
So how does one round work against true Ogre then? I'm guessing one round doesn't, and I'll just have to fight him. That kick is just... basically got quite a good little kick, this guy. He's basically like, yeah, just jump them. Just kick with it. Just use your tails. Gong, use your tails. Apparently his ending will repeat. Let's press start to exit, but let's find out. That's Kumar, I think. Yeah, that is Kumar. Yeah, he's definitely 100% comedy character. Oh, I see, yeah. They've done that as if it's an endless loop of him getting blown up and around. That's quite a nice little trick. I did wonder that if they'd do something like implying that basically it's an endless loop of Gong's life. And then it loops. There's also a usage, so if you use up what's the maximum character, theatre mode, all extra costumes, 750. So basically, if you use all the characters up to 750 times, you will unlock everything as well. So this is a feature not accessible while in Tekken mode. If you have saved data from Tekken mode. While in Tekken mode, if you save it from Tekken or Tekken 2 in your movie, you can view any unlocked FMV from either game. So that means Tekken 3 has the unlocked movies of Tekken 1 and 2 on the disc, and that won't be accessible in this version. Yeah, with something like an endless looping ending. Yeah, it's a very subtle thing where they basically deliberately loop him falling into the water and starting over. It is something... It's something clever devs would do, yeah, as a joke. Yeah, Gong character... Let's just go through and play with all the different characters now, is what I've got to unlock everything. Tekken Bowl and the other ones. Tekken Bowl, I think you need to beat it with all the standard characters, so... Namco! But it's nice to see there's quite a few ways to unlock the different characters as well. Practice Tekken for survival, time attack, team battle. Yeah, I mean, you've got... I'm quite interested to see what Tekken Bowl is like, but that means playing through all the different arcade mode. Let's go. So I've done it with Paul. And that's Julie unlocked. So let's do with Jin now. Julie is the reskin of the girl from the first Tekken. So, but Tekken 1, 2. Basically, one of the things with the story of Tekken 3 is it's set so many years after the original games. You're playing as like the kids of the previous ones. Most of the characters, apart from like Paul, who's much older in this, you're supposed to be playing, and King, whose character wears a mask. Most of the characters in this one were actually older or the children of previous characters. But the later games, yeah, Michelle. So basically almost all the kids, that's why Paul has a beard, because he's meant to be, I think he's meant to be in his 40s in this one. Because this has to be set... I mean, Jin Kazawi, I think it's like 20 or 21. So this has to be set like 20 years... I think it is 20 years after the first game, or 22. But yeah, one thing we'll say, the Bleem guys did pick... It would have been nice if these... Because there are some extras linked to the other games, it would have been nice if they were included in this. Jin versus Gon. Ah, you play as you do fighting once you. Oh yeah, he's a pain to fight because he's actually. Although that's low, I'll just dominate him with that kick. And I will say, as I said before, Tekken, Namco used to have a lot of bonus content in their games. Even Tekken 6 on the Xbox 360 was packed full of bonus characters to unlock. Tekken 7 doesn't have any of that, it's all DLC. This one doesn't seem to specific bosses of the first game. Or the second one, obviously, because you unlock them just via playing through. Jin versus King. Could always just put on the original soundtrack instead of the arranged one, but it's nice that you get both an arranged. I mean, this really is, in terms of extra content, this really is a superb version. You can see why, when you have so much bonus content to unlock and to play. So it gave the game plenty of replay value. Oh, come on.
You lose. Continue. Final round. Fight.
Now, is there an unlockable for beating the game without continuing? I need to check that. Oh.
You continue. Final round. Fight.
Damn it. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the Bleemcast stuff, I mean, the fact this is playing on, I mean, as with the other Bleem games, it all very... They definitely picked 3 games worth doing. It's a shame that I think this was the last one, and not long after they were basically so badly hit by the financial issues, because basically Sony defeated Bleem by basically suing them to oblivion. think they actually won one of their court cases initially, but the problem is... Hey, Lonely Bob. No, this is... hello, Lonely Bob. Thanks for joining the stream. My name is Random Gamer Riven. I am... So my name's Rand... This is not an unofficial port of Tekken. This is, just to explain to you, Lonely Bob 77. So my name is Random Gamer Riven, the editor of Randomised Gaming. This is Tekken 3, the PS1 disc, running on Sega Dreamcast via an unofficial, well, basically an unofficial release back in 2000 called Bleemcast. Bleemcast was released. There were 3 discs, and if you bought one of the discs and then put in your PS1 copy of either Gran Turismo. So one Bleemcast disc was for Gran Turismo, one Dreamcast disc was for Tekken 3, and one Dreamcast disc was for... In fact, I'll just send you a link. Bleemcast. Just so you can understand what it was. Basically, it was an unofficial emulator that would play your original games, and they were sued to pieces by Sony back in 2000. So, pause that there. I'll just send you a quick link so you guys can see Lonely Bob. Yeah, so it was 4 Pacific games. Each disc was for one game only. The Tekken 3 disc supported Tekken 3 only and supported the Japanese, PAL and NT North American release of the game. The Metal Gear Solid disc only supported the PAL and North American release, and Gran Turismo supported Gran Turismo 2 supported all 3, but each disc would only work with one game. So you couldn't put other games in. There was a prototype Bleem disc that supported 100 games, but apparently Bleem basically found it too difficult to support 100 games in one go because the amount of work involved, checking all the versions and everything. And what it did was it also maps everything to the Dreamcast controller, or as best as it can do. And they actually supported VMU saving as well, so I've got a save game, and that specifically saves all 3. Yeah, they did later do a version on PC. It does take up the whole VMU. They did release a version of this on PlayStation, the PC as well. You are correct, Lonely Bob. Oh, come on. It does take up a whole VMU, however you can have multiple Bleemcast games on the VMU. So all 3 Bleemcast games are saved to one VMU, so you at least get some use out of it. So I've got Gran Turismo on this, I've got Gran Turismo 2 on this, I've got Tekken 3, and I've got Metal Gear Solid. All 3 can be saved to one VMU. Poor Jin, getting shot down. And there's his devil form. He takes on after his father. Is beating the crap out of his granddad in that one. You do actually meet Jim Patchy. The King of Iron Fist. It is actually, the emulation quality is very, very good. In fact, you've got smoothing and effects that you wouldn't be seeing. In fact, this is far better than many of the early emulators were. But basically, this project later encouraged a lot of emulation stuff, at least on the PlayStation. Although I will admit, I think a few of the SNES emulators were around at the time of Bleem, because I know I was using SNES emulators back in about 99 and 98. But basically, yeah, you had to buy the game disc and then you needed the PS1 actual game disc. But it does work really well. So you can save all. The only thing you can't do is manually delete any of the saves, which is a bit annoying. I think there was talk of them doing an official Bleem memory card and an official Bleem joypad as well, and a few other bits of paraphernalia to support the project, but of course they were sued to oblivion by Sony, so might as well skip the credits. Let's do, at least we're unlocking the characters as we go. Might as well just try and unlock as many as I can tonight. Let's give Tekken. Let's give practice Tekken Force. No Tekken Ball yet. I think that said you had to delete time attack. Team battle time attack. Let's give time attack a quick whirl. Let's just. So who have I got? Oh, Gun Jack. Oh yeah, Jack. Normally Jack is a default character. Obviously he's Gun Jack. Obviously because normally Jack is like playable from the start. Obviously not in this one.
Round 1. Fight.
No, surely because you normally get like Jack Model 3, don't you? Maybe I missed him. But yeah, the emulation really is good. No, it must be standard Jack. I must have just not missed him.
You win. Round 2. Fight.
And yeah, this is as you mentioned earlier. This probably does play better than how it does on PlayStation 3. Because the PlayStation 3 emulator is pretty lousy. I mean, PS2's okay, and admittedly, one of the guys that did Bleemcast did work on PlayStation, did work on the PS2 compatibility stuff, I believe.
Round 1. Fight.
Jack's actually Gun Jack's actually got that nasty punch combo, so once you get stuck in there, you can.
Round 2. Fight.
Obviously, time attack does not adhere to the arcade rules or setting rules. It's obviously got its own settings. See how far I can go in the time. So I'm not a big Tekken fan, so I'm not that great at Tekken. This is one of the fighting games I would not class myself as anywhere near an expert. I know quite a few people did really enjoy Tekken, but I was never a big Tekken fan.
Round 1. Fight.
Oddly enough, I actually played Dead or Alive more, and I do quite like Dead or Alive. I know it gets a bit stick sometimes, but I really always enjoyed Dead or Alive. Get some throws in. Come on. Yes, the only thing you've got to watch in this is getting it. If you get taken airborne, you can get absolutely hammered. And that was one criticism I know a lot of the Tekken fans did have that put a lot of people off is the later games. It's one punch into the air and your combo can take you out. Basically, if a game has you can get it basically taken out in one combo, the balancing needs retweaking. Really, fighting games should have a limit to how much damage you can take in one combo. Although these earlier fighting games you tend to have a lot less health in these earlier ones. The newer ones you tend to have quite a bit more health, so fights go on for a bit longer. These games were a lot more quick burst. Gunjack versus Law.
Round 1. Fight.
course, you need to beat the game with all the normal characters to unlock some modes, and beat it with all the extra characters. You need to beat Tekken. Well, there's lots of content, so arguably I think this is more content than Tekken 4. Tekken 4 is actually quite bare bones in comparison, so I do wonder if people are a bit disappointed with Tekken 4 in comparison to this. Tekken 3 has a lot of content in it. I won't continue anymore. That's time attack. That's a quick brief showcase of time attack. Let's get on unlocking more stuff. Yes, it does sometimes do that auto save error. I think that's an issue, possibly a bug with Bleem, maybe. You have to then go to memory card. Yeah, Tekken Tag, you're right. Tekken Tag came after this. Then Tekken 4. Tekken Tag was a launch game for the PS2. Then it was Tekken 4. Tekken Tag had quite a few characters. Tekken Tag is actually quite good. I quite like Tekken Tag. That's quite. It has quite an interesting, crazy system. And then, right. So I've done it with Jin and I've done it with Paul. Yeah, I thought there was like Jack version 3. Obviously, Jack. Yeah, there is no, unless the default Jack, obviously you only have Gun Jack. Right, so we've done Gon. I suppose I should do it with all the default characters, so I'll do it with Yoshimitsu over Xiaoyu first. Yoshimitsu I quite like, and he's such a crazy character. Yeah, it was Tekken Tag. It's Tekken Tag, Tekken 4, Tekken 5, Tekken 6. Alternative costume for Jack. Ah. Yeah, because normally Jack and Gun Jack are two different characters. Because in the original game, was it Jack and Gun Jack are two separate characters? But I think Gun Jack was Jack's boss, if I remember.
Final round. Fight.
But Yoshimitsu's that triple kick he's got and stuff is just lethal. But yeah, it just looks so... Soul Edge! Oh, we got an advert for Soul Edge, or we're called Soul Blade in Europe. Owing to the infamous Team Landale, who sued anyone. Tim Langdale, who infamously sued anyone because he apparently wanted to make a game called Edge and then decided that he had the sole claimant on the word Edge, so anyone... Hence why they renamed Soul Edge, Soul Calibur, after because they wanted a specific name for it. Because they were basically getting... because they ran into legal trouble with it in... And it wasn't until EA and Mirror's Edge that they finally got rid of the copyright. They finally got rid of him. EA took him on and crushed him. And he lost the legal case. And I think because he basically became known as a bit of a pattern. Using the guy that stood, yeah, that's Tim Langdale. I'm sure there's quite a few. But as you can see, the emulation, I mean, the way they do this, basically they tell the Dreamcast to be able to read the PS1 disc, which is, so it's not, it's actually reading the actual disc. It's basically, oh nice, that's an, Yeah, Yoshimitsu's such a good character. Yeah, it was Tim Langdale was the one with the Edge. He became quite infamous.
Final round. Fight. You win.
Admittedly, what looks good about this on even compared to, like, say, the Saturn is the detail of the characters. They've got so much, like Yoshimitsu, all the armor and everything. Yeah, but Tim Langdale came a cropper with Mirror's Edge and EA, who took him to court and destroyed his, who believe ended his patent. They ended his patent, so anyone can use the name Edge now without fear of being sued. Versus Ogre. It's a nice.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, dude, he's such a good character, Yosh.
You win.
Yeah, well, EA had the very good lawyers, so. Although, let there be a lesson, never take on EA in a legal case unless you've got an absolute stellar case. Yeah, Ogre, this final form of Ogre, you do more damage to him and I think he does more damage to you. Got him. Yes, that's a 1 credit run as well. Although not a proper 1 credit run as I've only been. But Yoshimitsu's a really good character in this. Ogre blood. What was Yoshimitsu doing? Experimenting with rats? Yoshimitsu's endings are always a bit weird. Oh yeah, this is the Doctor character, isn't it, who you unlock? The King of Iron Fist. Just let the credits roll this time. Ooh. Just like 4 down. Or no, 5. Only catch beating with 1, 2, 3. Was that 4 or 5 characters now I've beaten it with, but quite a few to go. But yeah, as you see that, I mean, the emulation really is spot on. Aside from the credit roll with that slight fluttering, I don't know if certainly, because you mentioned it was 480. Originally, converting this to 480p, there may be 1 or 2 unexpected graphical issues as a result. But I mean, the Bleem discs themselves are only like I think they were like $5.99 or something, $4.99 in the US. They were quite cheap and they sold. Apparently, the first lot sold. So the 3 discs were Gran Turismo 2 was released first. Apparently that sold the most. Followed, I think it was Metal Gear and then Tekken 3. The Tekken 3 and Metal Gear ones are quite a lot more rarer than the Gran Turismo one. The Gran Turismo one you see quite often. But yeah, the quality, the emulation, I will be doing another character in a few minutes. Just gonna just give my wrists a break. Because they're a little bit sore at the minute for some reason. I don't know what it is. There you are looking at Tekken 3, the PS1 version running on the Dreamcast thanks to Bleemcast. Now, this wasn't a disc, it basically runs the official PS1 disc, so I've got my Platinum copy, my Platinum Power copy running on the Dreamcast. I will actually try and get myself an NTSC. Only games that don't work on GD emulator. No one truly hacked them yet. Ah, yeah, because you've got to change disc, haven't you? Well, I thought they would have had a change disc mechanic. But then also the fact that you've then got to have the game understand the PS1. Your emulator has to understand the PS1 image. I was going to say, I haven't seen that much coverage of these. I mean, this is... When I've actually said... Initially, I was always a bit... Because one of the problems is when I had a Dreamcast, of course, back... We got one back in 2000... And it was actually really hard to find these. They were just never around. They were seen in the magazines, but I never saw anyone stock them. I think in the UK they were... We've got Nina, Law, Hwoarang, Eddy. Of course, GDU, CDI, yeah. Okay, we'll do King. King is actually Random Gamer Dragoon's favourite character. Mine's actually Paul, so...
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, CDI, you really will need... It really should be ISO images it should support as well. Because you need PS1... There are a couple of emulators though, so I don't know if some of the emulators may support them. King versus Hwoarang.
Final round. Fight.
There was Hwoarang. There's also Hwoarang in Soul Calibur as well, although he was only in a couple of the Soul Calibur games. Yeah, that's because one of the things is you didn't see these discs I was mentioning around much. In the UK, I never saw them at all. I never saw anywhere that had them for sale. I don't know of independent retailers, but certainly in the UK, I know Game and Electronic Boutique, the UK Game and the UK Electronic Boutique did not stock them. Should probably actually do the original arcade soundtrack as well for a bit of fun. See how it sounds. But yeah, I mean the emulation, as said, sounds really good. I mean this is vastly better than even many of the PS1 emulators back in the day. Even today, I mean DuckStation is smoothing, which is what this features. So DuckStation's a really good emulator, one of the modern ones. But I mean it's taken till DuckStation, and DuckStation's a fairly recent emulator in the last 3 or 4 years to equal this in terms of quality. And this came out back in 2001. They were 2000 and 2001, the Bleem releases said. There was only 3 because they were taken to court by Sony. Sony were not a fan of Bleem for obvious reasons.
Final round. Fight.
Haven't unlocked Nina's sister, who's Anya, who's in every game. I know she is in this one, so I don't know. She'll be one of the characters we unlock for finishing it. Is Armoured King in this one? I assume so. There's normally King and Armoured King, or is... Have I played... No, that was the one I was mentioning earlier, Death by Degrees. I've played quite a lot of the spin-off games, and now I've done a lot of, like, fighting games. I've never actually played Death by Degrees. That's one of the few ones I've never played, Nina's spin-off game, Death by Degrees. I've never actually had a copy. It's one I should try and get a copy of, actually. I think it's quite a competent scrolling beat-em-up. Namco always tried to do scrolling beat-em-ups, but never quite Yeah, it's just easy. It's certainly easier to put it to slightly easy in one round just to unlock stuff when you're unlocking stuff. Because I haven't actually unlocked anything before, so I thought, well, I might as well just make it a bit easier myself. Make it a bit quicker as well to rotate through the characters. But I do hope you guys are watching this or enjoying the stream. Should just introduce myself for those not chatting away, because I see we've got quite a few people on the stream at the minute. My name is Random Gamer Riven. I am the editor of Randomised Gaming. We are a YouTube channel and blog, and we these days do a bit of streaming as well, so do check us out, Randomised Gaming. Check out the Tumblr blog, and do check out our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is our primary source, but I have been doing Twitch streaming as well. I have been streaming Shining the Holy Ark on Sega Saturn in the past few weeks, but I thought I'd take a break today and look at the Bleemcast Tekken 3 disc. We've looked at the other two Bleemcast discs. I'm actually going to do some YouTube videos of this as well, sort of quick comparison things. But it's really good to see. This is basically the PS1 games running via an emulator, and is very, very impressive. So, had a little smoothing. If you do like our content, of course you can always follow us. I'll leave that purely up to you if you want to follow us or not, but it's always nice to have people coming back, watching us again. And do feel like dropping a comment in chat if you like. I realise not everyone can talk. I know a few of our regular viewers don't necessarily talk because they're doing other things, working away or something. But if you do like our content, please consider following. I have looked at the other two Bleemcast discs already on stream, so I've looked at the Gran Turismo one and I've already looked at the Metal Gear Solid one, but they are just as equally as impressive as this. I have to admit, I've been very impressed with the work of the Bleem team. I've spoken a few times to Randy Linden, I hope that's pronounced his name, on Twitch, who was one of the original coders, and it's really nice to actually see the work they did here. It's a shame they weren't able to do it more. I'm surprised Sony didn't actually go, well, hang on, they're selling PS1 games by doing this. Let's see, is Armored King a hidden character? No, Armored King is not in this one. That's interesting. I don't see Armored King unless he's a change character. There's a sort of history between Armored King, and one of the other wrestlers who's supposedly Armored King is the later king. The original one of the kings is supposedly bumped off by one of the other characters, and there may have even been that one in that intro there. But I said before, no one plays Tekken for the story. It is a very silly, very just over the top bonkers storyline. Roll on to the next character in a second. But yeah, I've never actually played Death by Degrees. I've always one of those ones I should probably get round to actually grabbing a copy of at some point. A couple of games I'm like, yeah, I should really get PS2 copies as they're not that expensive. So I might give the Tekken fighting one a go again as well, because that's quite good. The scrolling bit. I'll give the scrolling beat 'em up mode. Mode Gon character. Making my way slowly through the game. Now, how many characters have we gone? I didn't finish it with Gundam. I haven't done it with Kumar. So I've done it with King, Gon, Yoshimitsu, Jin, and Paul. Kumar was really good. Okay, let's another look at Tekken Force mode. Because now we've got a couple of extra people on stream just to show what it looks like. So, we finally unlocked Anne. I'll try Gunjack actually, see what he's like in Tekken Force mode.
Gunjack. Fight.
Basically, death by degrees. For ages, Namco clearly wanted to make it like a really good scrolling beat 'em up. It almost felt like basically they wanted to make one in the 90s, never did, and then they've been trying ever since. They did Nano Breakers as well on Xbox. They did Death by Degrees on... I did a few others as well. They've done loads of them actually. When you look at them, they've done quite a lot of... Don't know if you can play as any of these guys. I know you can play as the boss, who's the robot, Mad Doctor, who you see in... Yeah, he's also got the range. Looks like a Sega Ages remake. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Long before Sega Ages remakes existed. Oh, you fight yourself in the first round. Ah. Gotta watch that. It does look like a Sega Ages remake on the PS2. Stage 2, the Badlands. So the first stage you obviously fight yourself. I know the Doctor is the one you fight on the last stage. Or they said you've actually got to beat the game like this mode multiple times. I'm sure there's a whiz to doing it multiple times quite easily. Basically got to take out these guys as quickly as possible so that way... So that way the more time you have. Just want 4 seconds. Bear in mind this is Sega Ages remake long before Sega Ages existed, so I'd say basically, yeah. It's reminiscent of Golden Axe on the PS2, in case you haven't played it. It's not a good remake. I think also getting the power-ups can be a bit problematic. You do want to prioritise. Your priority really is the time. So you want to take these guys out as quickly as possible. Yeah, he's got quite a good triple hit combo. Come on, slow coach, take them all out. Okay, that's a good time for this boss. Yoshimitsu. Ah, does it change? Do the bosses change per character? Or is it random who the bosses are each time? Oh, come on. Oh man, he's actually hammering me. Mwah, mwah, mwah. again, taken out the second boss. First time was too slow. That's actually a bit trickier than I was expecting. Let's do that one again. Well, before I do that, let's have another rank go at arcade mode. So who should we do next? Any particular characters? Any choices? Oh, that's interesting. He's changed his costume for this one. This is an alternative version. Again, for you guys watching, I'll just reshow it so you can see how it looks. It's basically the Dreamcast port allows for smoothing and other improvements. There is some slight soft focusing on a few bits on the text and some of the edging, but no, I don't think Heihachi's I haven't unlocked Heihachi yet. I think he's one of the last to play as. I did want to stick to the original characters at the minute so I can unlock Tekken Ball. Although you've got, obviously, I think I saw it, you had to beat it with everyone, so. Well, we've just clocked over to midnight here in the United Kingdom, so I appreciate a few people are going to have to run off. But if you do like our content, please consider following us here at Randomised Gaming on Twitch. Eddy's always funny. Okie dokie, I'll do Eddy. He's actually quite a nimble character. Eddy's animation is always very impressive.
Final round.
Because actually he's got some really good nimble animation when you pay attention to the sort of DJ breaking and everything. And you really see what skilled developers could achieve with the PS1 by the end of its lifetime. It's a shame the Saturn never quite got that treatment, because by '98 Sega were already wrapping up on the Saturn, so the Saturn only really had 4 years of development. And the Saturn technically is a more powerful console than the PS1, so. One of the girls is based on Eddy's design as well in the later games.
You win. Final round. Fight.
Got to remember to save at the end, because I'm not sure the autosave always actually works. Oh, damn it. In chapter report. Let's try to look at what he's got on his belt. Is that Repuka? Eddy? In this costume? Eddy's animation is always very impressive, although strangely I think got replaced basically by a girl in most of the later games, although Eddy does appear in a few of them.
Final round. Fight.
Actually, some really impressive work. I mean, Bleem really does show what you can achieve with sort of emulation on even consoles. Because we are basically the Bleem literally is teaching the Dreamcast how to, for the Dreamcast to play a PS1 game. I suppose one of the things is because of how this works, it will show up some bugs that are in the PS1 version more clearly on Dreamcast. There are probably a few bugs that are added in for this version, but. Is Julie going to get me? I'm going to get taken out by Julia. No, come on. But I will do a quick comparison of this and Metal Gear on the channel, on the YouTube channel. And then I'll do a more in-depth video as well at some point. I definitely want to look at some NTSC copies before I do a proper... Because I think it's fair to say this version running at PAL is not ideal. It's annoying, we have a Japanese Metal Gear Integral and that doesn't work. So this Tekken 3 says it supports the Japanese versions. I know the Japanese version, they slightly censored the Japanese version. I should have actually checked for Tekken 3 when I was ordering from one of the Japanese sellers today. But, oh, this always love that. Sometimes you get, yeah, then they get a perfect. So you lose and then get a perfect the next time round. One round just makes it a bit quicker and a bit easier. I call one round a death bout because it literally is win or lose. I used to love doing this one round fights in Street Fighter 4. Basically you've got to suss out your opponent or die. Much more fun for online matches when you're doing it. This is Nina's sister, Anna. There is a joke about some fighting games you can literally just mash the same button, and I think some of these games are a little bit guilty of doing that. Where literally some fighting games, if you try and use the same attack, the AI will learn pretty quickly, but some games you can literally use. It really does depend on the difficulty as well. It's the King of Iron Fist himself. Yeah, I think Tekken literally means Iron Fist in Japanese, so...
Final round. Fight.
Oh, nice. Eddie's actually got some really good combo attacks. I really need to learn a lot of them. It's got some solid music as well. I was going to change the music to the original to see how it compares from the arranged. You've got the arcade. This basically has the arranged and the original arcade soundtrack, which is a nice extra. Yeah, you'd actually do more damage to True Ogre because he does more damage to you, I assume. Purely because he's such a... It feels a bit weird you were doing more damage, but I guess because he's such a powerful character. He's got a massive model as well for PS1, so it's just actually very impressive, the size of him. Oh, that looks like a bug, Bleem. That looks like a bug. Like a film ending or something. Just going to see Tekken Eddy ending Tekken 3. How does that? Is that an issue? Okay, so he actually has that. There was a text at the bottom. So Eddy's room 23, 11 p.m. Okay, so organisational HQ. That's probably a bug with Bleem, actually, that one. Basically, he's actually got his one's done in widescreen, and there's some text shown at the bottom. So that's why that was a bit messed up, unfortunately. So yeah, seek the truth. There's text running at the bottom. Just watching 2 videos is ending. Yeah, basically that's what it was. I thought it looked like text at the bottom. Obviously that text is not operational for some reason. Now I've got a slight buzzing sound on my sound thing at the minute. Sometimes with just fix that. I heard that. Apologies if you heard that. Basically, if I watch a video, sometimes you can get an annoying buzzing noise. Okay, so I've still got practice Tekken for survival, time attack, Tekken battle. I don't know Tekken theatre's activated yet. Who do we need to do it with next? So we've done it with Eddy. VGA support, yep, I'm playing on VGA. I wouldn't be any otherwise. So Nina, Hwoarang. So I've got to do it with Lee. Let's do Nina. She's the sort of female protagonist. Because they wanted to keep her young and sexy, they kept her and her sister in some sort of weird cryogen thing. Nina is almost certainly based on Sarah, I suspect, from Virtua Fighter. Bear in mind, as I said, Kazooie was an unused. The two of the main guys from Virtua Fighter, having made it at Sega, then left to work on Tekken, basically, and create the series. And a number of unused concepts from Virtua Fighter, including a few unused characters, were reiterated into Tekken. Now, that in itself is actually a legal issue because they were designed for under Sega. Paul and Nina were my go-to characters. Yeah, Lonely Bob. Mine actually. So I don't play Nina that much, but I do really like playing Paul. Paul is definitely my go-to character as well. I do like his sort of airborne kicks and stuff. And his fist. He reminds me a bit of Akira as well from Virtua Fighter with his strong punches. Sort of iron fist things. The last Tekken I finished properly was Tekken 6, I have to admit. Although I have played Tekken 7. She's got lots of striking punches, but yeah, I know she's definitely a popular character. Yeah, Tekken did always have a bit of a floaty jumping. I know what you mean. It was sort of a weird sort of floaty, but yeah, Paul's definitely my favourite character in Tekken. Sisterly love in this one. Air juggle combos. Yeah, I know what you. She's definitely got. She's quite good juggling, doesn't she? Like that. Some characters are better than juggling than others. And you've also got that running kick as well.
Final round. Fight. You win. Final round. Fight.
Hwoarang's definitely got quite a nasty set of kicks. I haven't actually done it with Hwoarang yet. I mean, this is for what they've done with the Bleemcast. Yes, it does. Windows CE.
Final round. Fight.
I'm not sure if they actually used it, or whether they custom built it for PC, so I'd have to actually ask. It may have been using Windows CE. The Bleem version on PC is been sold well in this condition. Yeah, I think they had a license. I'm not sure whether there was a licensing agreement with Sony, because it took some years before Tekken. Remember, if Sony had put some money or a deal for Tekken to remain exclusive. But yeah, I know you. I've not actually played the PC version of Bleem. It's a novelty, but I know its compatibility, looking at it, is pretty limited these days. Only sort of the really early games work that well. Most of them have a lot of issues, and any of the more superficial games that use a lot of the more advanced emulation don't work at all. I think my gripe with the Tekken stuff is it would have been nice if if like the Tekken disc had supported all 3 Tekken games on PS1. I don't think they got that far with the PC version either. They did the PC disc, but Nina vs Ogre.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, because it was sold in big box stores. The thing is, I never saw. I know it was definitely sold in the UK, but I never saw it that much in the UK. So I don't know whether. I know it was. I think it was sold quite a bit in the US. Yeah, you had to buy the PC version. Yeah, it was properly sold for the PC, but you never really saw it around much, which was here in the UK. I don't know if the legal issues meant that they couldn't sell it, because in the UK they're a bit more tighter on things like it's like you rarely ever saw bootleg arcades over here, because you would have got sued to pieces and legislated against. So I don't think I ever actually saw Bleem for sale in this country. I'm not 100% certain. Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the stream, they basically sued them to Kingdom Come, Bleem. well, Sony sued Bleem to Kingdom Come. Bleem did win a few of the legal cases, but Sony were able to literally legislate them out of business, basically. Because I think they lost one case and then just started suing them again. And when you're spending all your money on the legal costs, then again, obviously the text in some of the cutscenes is done a little bit funkily. Which obviously Bleem doesn't properly emulate that. Obviously the guys missed that. That's one issue in this version. Ah, we've got Heihachi now. Unlocked Brian. So I've done it with Nina. I still need to do it with Law. Xiaoyu. Let's do it with Xiaoyu.
Final round. Fight.
Heihachi gets a different boss. Okay, I'll have a look at him next time. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame. I'm surprised Sony didn't actually say, "Oh, we could sell our games on, sell more copies of our games on, shift a few extra copies." I think there was some, as I mentioned earlier. I think they said because of the copyright, Bleem does work with burned CDs of the games, which is a bit naughty. I did see someone say Bleem, the very first time it appeared, they got into trouble. Even in one of the trade shows, they were literally being chased around by Sony going, "You can't show our games running on Dreamcast, you can't show our games." Admittedly, someone else showing their games commercially in this country without the copyright holder consent.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, admittedly the PS1, this does play better than the PS2 emulation. The PS2 emulation is just literally the PS1 games like running on the PS1. It does have smoothing, and I'm not sure. I need to ask the guy on Twitter. I think he may have actually done some of the backcat emulation for the PS2, but the support for it wasn't great, I have to admit. Probably because it was more as a afterthought. So basically, I suspect the fast loading and the smoothing was more of an afterthought on the PS2, and the problem is because it wasn't core. And different versions of the PS2 have different renditions of the sort of PS1 backwards compatibility, hence why there's quite double KO. Oh, come on, why does that go to Yoshimitsu if that's a double KO? Is that Namco trying to... It goes to the CPU if you get a double KO. Boo, Namco, boo. Oh. Yeah, she's not my favourite character. Xiaoyu, is that Xiaoyu? I could never pronounce her name, so... But again, the smoothing in this looks much... This actually looks better than some of the bad PS1 ports on Dreamcast, because there are a couple. And even if you look at like Plasma Sword, which is literally just the game using the PS1 engine running on Dreamcast. Okay, I think that floor issue, sometimes the texture disappears on this one, might be another bug. Of course, some of these bugs may be with the actual game. I think the text issue in the intros is definitely an emulation issue. They obviously didn't see that one. I'd quite actually like updated versions of Bleem, actually. I think it'd be quite interesting. One issue I have noticed is the transition going back to the BIOS is not good. I'm really slow with the follow-up there. I'm doing this the quick way just to unlock the stuff quickly, so I'm not stressing. Plus, it's quicker. It's not nice to just literally play through all the characters and quite quickly, even if it's only one round, set to the easier stuff. But I don't care. It just makes progression a bit easier. Means I can then practice later on with everyone unlocked.
Final round.
Keep meaning to look at the original OST actually. So let's remind me when I finish the next round to change the OST to the arcade one. Just see how it sounds differently. Well, hello everyone watching, my name is Random Gamer Ribbon, the editor of Randomised Gaming, and now your eyes are not deceiving you, you are watching Tekken 3 being run on a Sega Dreamcast. All real hardware here, we all use original hardware. So I am using a PAL Dreamcast, I am using a PAL copy of Tekken 3 PS1, and I am using a Bleemcast Tekken 3 disc. Although this version does support all the regions discs, I do actually need to get an NTSC version of the game because playing this on the PAL version is not ideal. Normally fighting games are the one I would definitely say go NTST all the time. Oh, she's really struggling with him. Gon, the legend. He's quite a funny character actually, Gon. I didn't realise he is, as you said Any Old Games, he is a manga license. But hello everyone watching, do feel if you're able to drop a comment in the chat if you can. I know not everyone's able to, so but don't be a stranger, do say hi. We do have a lot of stuff here at Randomised Gaming, so if you've never checked out our content, please do check us out. Please do consider following us if you like the video at the end. Or like my Like Me live streaming, and you can also check us out on YouTube. We do have a quite hefty subscription. And we also do Tumblr blog as well. Tekken. And this is Tekken 3. But yeah, the smoothing effects and everything. I just want to, I mean, all the Bleemcast obviously uses the same tech. I don't think they all look about the same quality. So I think, which do I think is the best? I mean, it's hard to say. They're all three very good games. I must admit, there are quite a lot of PS1 games I would prefer over these three, so I mean that might be a bit heresy. Gran Turismo 2 is actually very good because there weren't many. I think, if I'm being honest, Tekken 3, there were lots of fighting games on Dreamcast, so perhaps slightly less demand for Tekken 3. But when it comes to Metal Gear, there weren't many stealth games on it. On the Dreamcast, and certainly Gran Turismo, you only had Sega GT for the sort of real-world racing. Although there are quite a few racing games, mainly the Sega stuff tends to be more arcadey. Get some punches and kicks out. KO, yeah. But yeah, but the text just moving. It does slightly, as it mentioned, softens the edging. The text, you do notice the softening. But smoothing over softening, I don't think there's too much of... He's going to beat me this run, isn't he? I am not a... I said Paul's the best character I play, so I'm literally winging it as every other character because I don't really play as many of the other characters that much at all. And I'm not a huge Tekken fan, so I tend to play the Capcom arcade fighters more than anything else. Come on, come on.
Final round. Fight.
But yeah, Ogre is actually, I mean, his model, when he goes into the next form, is probably one of the most impressive things. In terms of size, is very impressive for a fighting game. I mean, you had a few quite big ones on the Saturn's Fighters Megamix. You had the Daytona car, and you had the Sonic Fighter guys that had quite big models, but I don't think anything's quite as detailed as Ogre. Like, Ogre may just be the most true Ogre, just about to come up, is probably the most impressive model in their fighting game from the 32-bit era, I'd probably possibly argue. That's a big model. I did actually see someone fighting him in the arcade once. Ironically, that was in Trocadero in London. In Sega World, no less. Despite the fact Sega World actually had all the Tekken games. That was back in 99, 2000? Yeah, the text is not quite done right. We just have an anime intro for her. That's quite novel. It's really done some craziness with all the different Xiaoyu land. Heihachi land. Jack. The King of Iron Fist. Okay, who should we run through next? Suggestions? I think any old games is going to suggest Heihachi, so I'll play for a little bit longer before I finish, so got quite a few people on stream tonight, so I do hope you're all enjoying this. Some more unlockables. Ooh. I mean, it is good to see how many. I mean, you did have. So, the start of the 32-bit era, the games were quite basic. What I mean by 32 era, I'm talking about the N64, the Sega Saturn, PlayStation, Jaguar, and the 3DO. They really class under. And towards the end of the era, you start getting games with a lot of additional content to unlock. Notably like Fighters Megamix on Saturn. You had loads of fighters and paths to unlock. The later Tekken, although in the original Tekken it had quite a lot of content. It had much more content over Virtua Fighters, which was one of the real big selling points of Tekken, I think, at the time. That I said I'd go for. Let's change the music BMG to arcade. Yeah, I'm running it on the lower difficulty settings. I'm not fussed because I just want to unlock the stuff quickly. And it's nice to be able to show it to you rather than have to go through strong, long drawn out battles. Especially as I'm not a Tekken fighter and I'm not feeling 100% tonight. Oh, I've unlocked Ogre, so let's go with Heihachi. I've got to keep a mental note of who I have and haven't finished the game with. So I've done it with Zhao now, I've done it with Yoshimitsu, done it with Nina, haven't done it with Law, haven't done it with Hwoarang, I've done it with Eddy, Paul, King, haven't done it with Lee, and I haven't done it with Jin. And I've beaten it with Gong. Hidden mascot character, so let's go with the Japanese. He was actually a manga character, Gong. I didn't realise that. He's quite funny, but he is more a joke character than anything. So Heihachi being the original final boss, and he's actually supposedly killed off in Tekken 2, but he comes back. He's thrown into a volcano by his son.
You win.
Basically, Heihachi in the original game threw, I think, Kazooie into a volcano, and then the sequel, he does the flip. But Kazooie is nowhere, his son is nowhere to be found in this one. Basically, you get Jin. Although I assume the only reason Heihachi still looks good for his age is because of the Devil Jin. Because, well, actually he's quite a lot younger in the first game, isn't he? The one character I haven't unlocked in the original game is the skin for Kazooie, because you have to beat that Galaxian by getting every single enemy in one run. It's so annoying. It has to be done on the loading run as well. That is properly hard to unlock. Heihachi is actually quite a good character. I did play as him because he was included in Soul Calibur 2 on the PlayStation, and he was actually included in some of the later releases. He is actually in the Xbox 360 version as well, and PS3 version. Yeah, the game is named after Tekken, of course. It does mean, I'm pretty sure it does mean Iron Fist. Tekken is the Japanese word for Iron Fist, or how you say the Japanese word. One thing you learn about other languages, they often have names for words we don't have. Or they have single words for what would be multiple words. And sometimes terms that we wouldn't quite have in this country. Another one is Last Bronx. It's called Tokyo Banjai. Oh, I see the music for this stage is totally different. Iron Fist Hand. Wow, this music stage is totally different. Yeah, it's like Tokyo Last Bronx is Tokyo Bangayo, and Bangayo basically means like a Pacific word for a slum of Tokyo. It's a very Pacific word, so I suppose the closest we would have is either Tokyo slum or Tokyo ghetto. But yeah, it does look, I mean, look, just looks really good. You see all the texturing on it. I mean, it's credit A to the PS1 game because it's a very good looking PS1 game, and then when the Dreamcast adds on, Tekken 1 would still look good using Bleemcast, but I don't think it would look as good as this. Actually, forget, the PS1 version of Tekken is available also on the Namco collection. There was, on PS2, there is the Namco like 50th, or was it 30th or 25th PS1 collection, which is actually a really nice collection. That's Jin, this is stage 9, yeah. Wow, I've just absolutely destroyed the rosterous Heihachi, haven't I? I might give Thingy a quick run as him as well. He's absolutely demolishing them. Well, I need to unlock everything anyway, so... Heihachi, so basically just get Jin as the sub-boss. King was infamously... Ogre's actually... Not a king. Ogre was also turned up, so I think he's in Tekken Tag 2. And he's... I think he might have been in Tekken Tag 1, I can't actually remember. Tekken Tag 1 main boss is unknown, but the main boss is called Unknown, in case you're wondering when I say that. It's unknown. Basically, Jin's mother, her spirit form is basically the unknown wolf thing. Can I just literally punch him out? Yeah. Yeah, the arcade music's quite a bit different, actually. I'm quite surprised at that. So I think the one flaw I've seen with the Bleem is the... oh, we actually got Ogre getting killed. Is he absorbing its power? Oh, he's throwing him out of the chopper. What is it with their family throwing each other? That's a reference to their previous endings where they toss each other off high cliffs. And throwing them into volcanoes or off high mountain tops. Yeah, it didn't really work. It doesn't really seem to work with them, seeing as they can all fly. I know in the Tekken, I have got the Tekken Hybrid, which includes the film. It's got Jin basically beating up they beat up Heihachi, and then Jin and Kazooie face off. That was on the PS3. You got a movie with basically you got a HD version of Tekken Tag, the original, which is quite nice, and then you got survival time attack mode. Let's go for Tekken Force mode again. See how good Heihachi's in it. So again, oh, we've unlocked True Ogre. Oh no, let's go for True Ogre, shall we? See what True Ogre's like. Got quite a few of the characters unlocked now. Who have we got left to unlock then? This is technically not Ogre, this is True Ogre. Oh my god, this thing's going to destroy them all, isn't it? The only question is, I bet he's going to take more damage. Doctor, yeah, the Doctor character, yeah, he's from this mode. He's actually going to be quite a pain to unlock because this mode's not that easy. Kangaroo, yeah. I think the kangaroo or dinosaurs in this one. Oh wow, they can actually run at the enemies because of the horns. I think it said you have to beat this mode like 3 or 4 times to unlock the characters. There's definitely a few more left to do, that's for sure. Oh wow, that was actually like a magic fireball attack. I know there are a couple of characters with fireball attacks and special attacks in this. Jinpachi Heihachi from Tekken Tag 2. I know, was he in Tekken 5 or 4 or 6? Is Jinpachi, or is he in Tekken 5? Because I got Dark Resuscitation. I did a video of playthrough of Tekken Dark Resuscitation. That's interesting. I'm not fighting Ogre. I suspect the game probably doesn't like 2 ogres on screen. Bonus time 20 seconds. The Badlands. Oh, that might be hold down the 2. Oh, come on. Volleyball game to unlock. Ah, he's got flame attack. I was going to say Ogre has like... I know he's like... Ogre, a couple of the characters do have like fireball attacks literally. Jinpachi is insane as well. Jinpachi is not in this one. He's a bit slow, Ogre, that I will say. It's probably a strategy for beating this mode that I'll probably have to figure out to unlock everyone. If anyone knows the best character for this mode, please do let me know. Yeah, I've still got the Tekken movie mode to unlock as well. I need to do all the original characters first, and then you've obviously got to beat it with all the other characters. You've got to beat this mode for one of them, the Doctor. This mode's definitely one of the harder modes, that's for sure. These guys wouldn't even stand a chance against this thing. If this was real, they'd literally be like, run, run. Yeah, he's quite... Okay, cheers, Lonely Bob. Thanks for dropping by the stream again. Have a good evening or night, wherever you are. Nah, I'm going to lose this one. Very much appreciate you watching. And as always, if you enjoyed the stream, please do follow us as well. Although I think you're actually following us, aren't you, Lonely Bob? I think think you've been on stream before. Right, 13 seconds. I'm not going to beat Hwoarang. 10 seconds. I'd be amazed if I get Hwoarang in this time limit. Come on, I need the heavy punch to literally knock him out in like 2 hits. Oh, she's on the heavy one. True Ogre, yeah, I was going to say. I assume Heihachi might be better for that mode. He's quite a lot faster. Tekken 4, so let's go for another. But yeah, you see there all the modes. I'm just trying to unlock what the volleyball mode's like. See if I can go. So I need to beat all the original characters with it. So done. Law, let's go with Law.
Final round. Fight.
He's a fast character who doesn't dish out the damage necessarily, so you do get that. Some characters are fast and don't do the damage, other characters really pack the punch. I think Law was one character from the original game, wasn't he? Law Lao? Can't remember if Law and Lei. Oh, no, I think Law is from the original game. Clearly based on the legendary Bruce Lee. And tragic Bruce Lee as well. Sadly, along with his son Brandon Lee. The boss is the Doctor. Yeah, but that means your 4th playthrough. You've got quite a lot to do on that. Yeah, I did see that one. I'm looking at Game Facts. We've got the different costumes. So code Tekken 3 players Anna, highlight Nina and press start. Is that in the arcade version? Oh, that must be the arcade one, Tiger. Yeah, that's the arcade game. So Anna was actually in the arcade game. So alternative end for Gunjack. Lose the game 10 times with Gunjack and hold both kicks after every round. Anna zebra skin costume. Play with Anna 25 times in a row, then select it by pressing start. Dr. Barashki, he's definitely the harder. Jack's tank top. Play as Jack 10 times, then select him by pressing start. Jin school uniform. Play as Jin 50 times, then select him by pressing start. Beat the game with Tekken Ball Mode and Gon. Beat the game with all non-hidden game characters. Yeah, I've beaten the game with a couple of hidden characters, so there's. Zaya school uniform, although she was actually wearing it. School background. First you've unlocked Jin school's uniform and Zaya school uniform. Then once you've done that, select a 2-player game. Choose both the characters with their uniforms and you'll get the special schoolyard background. Okay. Okay, Tiger. Finish arcade mode with every character, then highlight Eddy and press start or triangle. That sounds like the ultimate character. Giant, Julia Chan, Kuma, Monaco. Okay, yeah. So basically, Tiger and the Doctor are the last 2 characters that you've got to unlock. This one then says beat the game twice to unlock the 2. This was... Yeah, I'm so glad of sites like Game FAQs. Originally it was in the cheat mags as well, so often they would miss out things. You'd just be playing through the game going, who do I need to beat left? Beat it with... Yeah, the Doctor I think is probably the hardest character to unlock. Gong is quite irritating when you fight him. Already Heihachi. Appreciate everyone who's been on stream tonight. Right, I'm hopeful we should be at affiliate status very soon, so appreciate everyone who's been watching tonight. It's very much appreciated. So I think the only clear bug I've seen is that the text in some of the intros is displayed incorrectly. Whether that's an issue with the PAL version and not the NTSC one, I can't say, because PAL videos will be rendered slightly differently to NTSC ones. Whether that is a bug with... But other than that, pretty much this is... I mean, this is, as I've said, this is the Sega Dreamcast running the PlayStation 1 version of Tekken 3. Is it Law and Lao? Is his father? The King of Iron Fist, okie dokie. Let's quickly crack it. Autosave. Oh yeah, I'll quickly should. Yeah, it's definitely a slight bug with the autosave sometimes. So, and when it occurs. Save okay, yeah. I don't know what it is. That's definitely a bug with this, the way they've done it. Sometimes it doesn't seem to quite save correctly. It seems to make about sort of every 1 in 10 say something will go not quite right. So there are a couple of bugs. This is probably the most buggiest then. The other ones don't seem to have quite the same issue. We've done Law. Oh, I haven't done Hwoarang, have I?
Final round. Fight.
Again, he's another strong character. Lots of powerful kicks. Yoshimitsu is a really good character.
You win. Final round.
Yeah, you sometimes you play as the first time. You can sometimes tell when you play as a character just how much better some are than others. You can just instantly feel the flowing better with some. Hwoarang versus Eddy.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, he's got a really. I mean, that's nearly. He's got some really nasty kick combos, Hwoarang. Yeah, he's actually got quite a lot of kicks, doesn't he, Hwoarang? Does a lot of damage as well. I might give it a whirl. He's got, I mean, I've only just started playing it in order to demolish. Sometimes some of the characters you've seen me sort of struggle a bit, and this Hwoarang has been absolutely, these kicks are absolutely lethal. And there's usually one or two characters that are a bit unbalanced in every Tekken. And like most fighting games, generally the newer characters, I say that as he absolutely demolishes me, Jack. But he's got, yeah, see, that kick combo let me come back from nothing. I actually quite like the arcade soundtrack, actually. It's interesting to actually have both. It's always nice. It's quite interesting that it's quite a bit different from the original. Oh wow! You do straight 4-hit combo into a launcher, and you can repeat that. Yeah, he's definitely a very good player for fresh players. No doubt you can probably really get mastered, but he's got some very easy to pick up combos. Yeah. Okay, that's insane. That's... Yeah, he's ridiculous with that combo hit. Oh, perfect. The King of Iron Fist. Do I want to quickly unlock the beach mode autosave error? Okay, I have to manually save again that one. Save okay, yeah. Let's give Hwoarang a quick go in Tekken Force. Ah, Tekken Ball mode's already unlocked. Ah. So it's not actually beat it with all the original characters. It's obviously beat it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Because I didn't do it with Lee. But I'm guessing Heihachi did count, not Gon. Gon would be a bonus character, but I'm guessing it's beat it with 10. Okay, I'll give Ball Mode a shot in a sec. Appreciate everyone's been watching this stream as well. Still with me at the minute, any old game? Just... Right. Almost got all the characters, yeah. So I've done all the easy characters. It's one I need the tiger skin you need to beat the game with everyone with, and obviously you need to get the doctor as well. Come on, Hwoarang, come down. So yeah, moving down's a bit... He's got quite strong kicks, yeah, so you can take characters out pretty swiftly. The larger health bar ones. I think the biggest problem is your targeting is actually a bit squith. So I'm going to fight Eddy. Yeah, so that was, if I got... Yeah, so that's a triple kick. Oh, come on, game. Stage clear, 12 seconds. Almost got all the characters. I'll try Tekken Ball in a second, since we've just unlocked that. Yes, that's what you've got to watch. There's a couple of kicks. You're actually better with the high kicks, and you're also better knocking them down to the ground so they don't have... You don't want to get too many extra kicks, you just want to take them out. Probably should use the heavier kick to do more damage. Come on.
4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. Game over.
I think Jax is the most powerful as we've done in that one. Skip that mode. So Tekken Ball, we've unlocked it at long last. So that'll be the Doctor, won't it? We haven't unlocked yet. We've got Iron Ball. I see you've got different ball damage. Okay. Oh, Grandmaster Iron Ball. We can do the Iron Ball from the get-go. Ninja Ball versus Gon.
Final round. Fight.
Oh, she's absolutely. Nina is absolutely destroying him. Oh, there's a slight sound glitch there. True Ogre. Let's play as Paul. Beach Ball. So basically, you obviously have to keep playing until you beat Gong in this mode naturally, normally.
Final round. Fight.
Yeah, Nina was actually really good. Do the charge, pulled, punch. Hi, the base monk. Thanks for joining the stream. We're looking at Tekken on the Dreamcast tonight. That's Tekken 3 via Bleemcast. Yeah, Nina's much better. Okay. Well, I suppose Gong's got that really weird. There he goes. That's a bit annoying. That was on the ground there. No, you don't get. Damn it. There we are. Look, we played through most of Tekken 3 via Bleemcast tonight, which is very interesting to see. So I'll do one more. Might actually just quickly play through the last character in a sec for a bit of fun. As we've done everyone in the main lineup except Lai. And then there's the bonus characters. Yes, he well waxed it. I feel quite a few characters have a fair amount of competitive advantage in this. Nina seemed to absolutely hammer Gong as well with that kick. Okay, we're looking at the Bleemcast version. Who else? One from. Let's try Heihachi's Iron Fist. Let's see what the gumball's like. We haven't tried that one. We tried the Iron Ball. We tried the Beach Ball.
Final
But just to introduce you to new guys, especially the base monk, my name is Random Gamer Riven. I am the editor of Randomized Gaming, a YouTube channel and Tumblr blog. But we now also do Twitch streaming as well, so I do hope you enjoy this look at Tekken via Bleemcast on Dreamcast. It's the PS1 Tekken disc playing on Sega Dreamcast. We have actually looked at all the Bleemcast games over the past. Which, yeah, some of the characters really do have a competitive advantage in this now. How do I get out of this mode? Gong, yeah. Gong's not going to have a very good run. He's going to be like the worst character, isn't he? Come on, Gong. At least I can say I unlocked him via doing this mode as well, because we actually beat him via Nina. Do stream a lot. We do stream a lot on Twitch, so do take a look. I stream 3 days a week at the minute, so do check us out. The main event stream is showing the Holy Ark on Sega Saturn the past few weeks. So I thought I'd take a break for a day and look at Tekken 3 on so this is how I exit. I'm gonna just want to see if I can actually win as Gong in this mode. This is ridiculous. Oh. I need to get that charge attack in, don't I? Some of the attacks need to charge it. Yeah, there you go, Brian. Come on. You're being beaten by a dinosaur. Oh, he got me. We've actually gone through and pretty much unlocked everything then. Apart from... So if anyone got any tips for the Streets of Rage mode, that would be very much appreciated. I think it's just the tiger guy, so I need to unlock. Right, I'm not going to unlock the tiger, and I'm not going to unlock the doctor, so because the doctor we're going to have to beat Tekken Force mode. That's actually by far the trickiest mode. But let's just look at. So this is the game running under Sega Dreamcast, basically using the Bleemcast disc. So it actually lets you insert. If you use Bleemcast, it lets you run the game. Must be close to getting the doctor. No, the Doctor, you do have to beat Tekken Force mode, although there is a thing for playing as so many characters, isn't there? But I think he's quite high to play as all the characters. You have to play as like 500. Lei's the cop character. Oh man, he's slow. He's the only one of the original characters. I haven't beaten it, but the cheat code says you had to beat it with just the original characters to unlock. Yeah, no, I haven't beaten. You got to beat all 4 stages. So there's 8 stages. Well, basically there's 4 stages. Any old games you got to play through. I've only got to the second boss. You got to get the gold medal, I think, which is actually play through all 5. There's 4 stages in Tekken Force mode, so I've not beaten the second boss yet.
Final round. Fight.
So I will keep it down a little bit now as it's getting a bit late, but as I said before, I'm not a main Tekken player, I'm more a Virtual Fighter fan, but it's nice to see how this looks on Sega Dreamcast thanks to Bleemcast. We swapped it over to the original soundtrack as well for the second half of the video. He's got great kicks actually, Brian Lee. As you said before, I mean, this definitely looks better than a lot of the emulators were, certainly in the early 2000s when this came out. This released in 2001. So, I mean, this is over 20 years old now and actually looks pretty damn good. I think only Duck Station. Definitely feeling the differences between some of the characters. There's a lot of changes between them. Everyone's favourite little dinosaur, and he's slightly annoying because half the time he doesn't get. He will not. Yeah, let's go for the low kicks. Oh, come on. I do like his stage as well.
Final round. Fight.
Let's try better against Heihachi. Yeah, she's gone. His kicks are much better than his punches.
Final round. Fight.
I think the only issues to mention we saw earlier was some of the text was incorrect in a few of the FMV sequences. So I'm guessing that text was rendered slightly differently to the the text isn't part of the FMV sequence unless there's an alternative colouring or something.
You win. Final round. Fight.
Okay, they reckon Jin do they low spin kick. Okay, I'll give that a shot. I'm going to finish in the not too distant future, but thank you to everyone for watching. I'll give it one. I'll give Jin a quick go as. The King of Iron Fist. I think only the text. Yeah, the text is a little jittery. That might be because it's if this game was originally 480i on PS1 when they're converting it to 480p on because I'm running this via VGA on Dreamcast, so I haven't unlocked the Tekken movies at the minute, so I don't know. So that's saved okay this time. But yeah, the saving doesn't quite work 100%, I noticed. I'll give Jin's spin kick a go. Ah, theatre mode. We've unlocked it at long last. So we've got opening, arcade, the beginnings. Gong. Oh, it's got the loop. You have to unlock quite a lot of Tekken tonight. I didn't think I'd unlock quite as much as this. Tekken ball mode as well. So let's go for Tekken Force again. Look, some sites say Doctor can beat him, he unlocks. I'm guessing if he randomly appears in arcade, it's probably after you've beaten it with almost every character. Let's give Tekken Force a whirl. So what they guessing they say that spin kick. Probably that diagonal back one. Or might be that one. Ah, probably that thing. Ah, yeah, that hits multi-hits. 360 ground spin. Oh, come on, Jin, move down. Yeah, I probably should take a look at his moves, although that backspin kick isn't bad. Yeah, if anyone knows a guaranteed tactic, do let me know. I'll have to try and find it. Yeah, that's not so great health-wise. I'm not going to do that well with this. That spin's good, but I think it must be a low spin. Yeah. Yeah, I probably should look at a video. I haven't actually tried Heihachi in that one. Tekken. Let's try Heihachi, see if he's any better, because his Iron Fist is ridiculously OP. This is definitely the trickier mode. It's like figuring out who's got the best tactic to win. Okay, that was quick. True Ogre. Yeah, True Ogre takes too much damage though, I think. True Ogre seems to have a weakened defense because okay, I've gained a lot of time with Heihachi. He's definitely got. Yoshi's time does stay between the rounds, so. Come on, need health. Oh, come on, get up there. Come on, get up there. Ah, oh, damn it. That is irritating. That was my best run so far as well. Yeah, he's quite high actually, he's pretty good. Change difficulty. No, that's the. I don't think the difficulty works on that one. You just got to get good at it, so to speak. Right, I'll just for a bit of fun, I'll just do one of the other arcade characters that I haven't cleared it with, and then I will finish out with who haven't we done it with. So Jack, true, Gun Jack has supposed to use 2 endings, so let's do it with Gun Jack for a bit of fun before I enter. Thanks for watching, everyone. As I said, this has been the game running on Dreamcast via Bleemcast, and it does look absolutely fantastic with all the smoothing effects. if the doctor does turn up in arcade mode, it's probably after you've beaten it with everyone else. You're off to bed, are you, Eddy? Games. Thanks for being on stream. Hope you have a good night. Yeah, I'm gonna. This I'll do the last run for fun, and then I'm gonna end it here. Oh, I was hoping you might be able to get a double hit there. Appreciate everyone on stream. I'm going to wrap it up very shortly. I'll play through as Gunjack and then I'll leave it there as we played through quite a large chunk. I think I played it over, what, 10? Done about 12 characters. Unlocked a huge chunk of the mode, so it does all work. Really is interesting to see the smoothing the developers did. Appreciate. Oh, thank you, the Based Monk, for the follow. I apologize, I didn't see you follow. I should really get an alert, but thank you for the follow, the Based Monk. Very much appreciated. I hope you're enjoying this Tekken 3 coverage. I should actually look at the other Tekkens and get more PS1 action out. But yeah, it's really interesting to see it running on Dreamcast. As mentioned before, I did have previously looked at the other games on Bleemcast, which was a Sega Dreamcast emulator that basically let you play retail PS1 games on it, which is pretty nifty. He's actually pretty good, Gunjack. I assume he's got a normal Jack costume in this one as well. The little fella's actually quite annoying because half the hits don't. Oh, you can double punch him. Oh, that totally missed. Oh, he's got a little roll attack. I lost to Gong. It's good to get those upper punches just to get him into the air. I was hoping if I do that, can I then whack him with follow-up? Yes, I can. Got it. But yeah, the smoothie, everything really looks good. I mean, Tekken 3 is a fairly solid game, so it's definitely got gameplay improvements over the original and the sequel. And there's lots of characters in this one, lots to unlock, some cool modes as we've been showing off. Appreciate everyone who's been on stream. The King of Iron Fist. Apparently if you beat it with Gunjack again, you get the other part to his ending. Right, someone says it's easy to beat the mode with Tekken Force mode. Someone says Lee's High Fist, Lee's High Kick, so let's try that. Is his high kick that good? I mean, his kicks were good, weren't they?
Hwoarang. Fight.
Yeah, that does pack quite a punch. Lee's high kick. Damn it. Just go manually save it then. Options. Okay, that's it from me, Random Gamer Ribbon. Thank you for watching, everyone. Appreciate everyone who's been on. If you enjoyed this video, please do follow, please do sub, please do subscribe, please do look at us on Twitch, please do look at us on YouTube, our main thing, and please look at us on the Tumblr blog. Please check out Randomised Game. My name's been Random Game River. I wish you a good night, good evening, good morning, or a good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. That's it from me. I'll be back Thursday doing one last stream before I probably take a bit of a Christmas break. But see you all in the not too distant future. And yep, have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are in the world.